Hester by Morgana Kate Watson. Prologue. Addie Fowler is at a desk holding an essay.
Anna Karenina, summarized by Addison Juliana Fowler. Anna Karenina is a classic Russian novel written by Leo Tolstoy in 1877. It tells the story of Anna married to Alexei Karenin and her affair with Count Vronsky. The first few lines of the book: all happy families are alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. This is a very fitting opening line because Anna is very unhappy with her marriage and thinks she'll be happier with Vronsky. So she leaves her husband and has Vronsky baby. Meanwhile, Kitty, who Vronsky was supposed to marry, marries a man named Levin, and their first that awkward marriage blossoms into something beautiful. Anna becomes more and more unhappy with Vronsky and begins to believe that her life would have been better with Karenin. Depressed, Anna throws herself in front of a train. It's a story of regret, pain, and unrequited love.
Lights. Act 1, Scene 1. A table at a nightclub. Seated at the table are Addison Fowler and Jessie Hauser, both 30. They're out for a girls' night and are dolled up and clearly in their element.
What about that one?
He's not lanky. I like lanky.
That one?
Too short.
You're so picky.
Too short.
Have you ever considered expanding your horizons?
I'm not your student, Ads. My preferences are set.
Never said you were, but when you have an awfully narrow description of attractive.
Dude, I've had the same favorite food for 15 years and the same bestie for 20. My life is set in stone. You'd need a chisel to change my mind.
I'm just saying, you've got that huge house. Might be nice to have some company other than me in it. Dirty it up a bit.
Always on the house, aren't you?
Have you seen the shoebox I live in?
It's not my fault my parents packed up and moved south and left the house. Hey, that guy's not my type, but he's cute. Why don't you go for him?
You're the one who wanted to come out.
Stop being a teacher. Go for him.
You know I don't pick up guys in bars. That's your thing.
Just go for it.
We'll lose the table.
I'll stay.
But if you see us...
I am a hot girl, alone at a table. I can will a guy here with my feminine wiles. Go.
Fine.
Addison stands. She immediately sits down and picks up her drink.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Well, at least Ernie has a good-looking bird.
Whatever. See that Rolex? He's way out of my league anyway.
Stop doubting yourself.
I'm happy just sitting here with you.
And you wonder why you're single.
You're single.
By choice. I could have any one of these idiots in this bar if I wanted them.
If you say so.
I do say so. It's just a matter of finding one I like.
What about that one?
Wand.
You are way too picky.
Didn't we just have this conversation?
Yes, but it needed reiterating.
His friend, though. I'm going in. Hold the table?
Of course. Have fun.
Love you.
Don't come back pregnant.
Jessie exits. Addison continues to scan the room. She catches the eye of someone, changes her mind, and picks up her phone. She becomes very engaged with it. Diane Bukowski, aged 50, stumbles to the vacant table near where Addison is seated.
Charlie, you sexy man. Hurry that pretty ass over here with that drink. Will you?
Addison looks up. She recognizes the voice. She is horrified when she realizes that she has correctly identified the speaker. She tries to hack the telephone.
No, Charlie, fuck that shit. Give me another margarita. I can't drink that now. And step on it, will ya? I'm a thirsty girl.
Diane flops into one of the empty seats at the vacant table, laughing to herself. She duck faces and takes a selfie. She swings around. She sees Addison. She does a double take and has a moment of drunken contemplation.
Excuse me?
You're excused.
Are you Addie Fowler?
No.
But you are.
Addie is a nickname to grow out of, like
Seen
great.
you in years.
My name is Addison. I thought about changing it completely, but why waste a good name, right?
Do you remember me?
You're Miss Bukowski.
You do remember.
Of course I do.
Except you're an adult now. Call me Diane. It's not my name anymore anyway.
Sure.
How are you?
I'm fine.
It's been how many years now?
Not enough.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
Who are you here with?
What?
Who are you here with?
No one.
Silly, no one comes to a bar alone on a Saturday night, especially not looking like that.
I may rethink the hair from now on.
Don't do that. You look great, but you never answered the question. Who are you here with?
I came with a friend.
Girls' night, great! Charlie, forget that margarita and find yourself another hookup. I'm backing out and joining my girl Addie for the night.
What are you doing here?
Enjoying a night out, just like you. Let's take a photo.
Not here as in Magnolias. Here as in Perchwood.
I moved here.
Move back to Springfield.
What? Why?
You know why.
No, I don't.
Well, ask your husband, Miss Washburn.
We divorced.
Oh, so you finally figured it out.
That he's a controlling bastard? Remember how strict he was as a teacher? I figured it out when he started going through the credit card statements with a fine-toothed comb and throwing tantrums like a 3-year-old when he found charges he didn't quote-unquote authorize. I just didn't jive with that, so I left his sorry ass.
But you kept his name.
I wanted to have the same name as my son. I didn't trust him.
And you're calling what he is a teacher strict?
While we're in a public place, yes.
Huh. Call it what it is. He is and was abusive. There's no other word for it. I still have PTSD.
Me too.
Bullshit. Strict would not be the word you would be using if you did.
Addie, we're in a bar. Don't make me get into it here. And I don't want to talk about it. Things happened.
They sure did. And remind me what your part was in it.
Not the time.
Addison, do you mind if I... Ms. Bukowski.
Jessie! You didn't tell me you were here with Jessie Hauser. Or is it Jessica now, since you're going by Addison?
It's still Jessie.
I didn't seem for it to be a necessary piece of information.
Selfie with all 3 of us.
No, there will be no selfies.
Addie?
My name is Addison. I've already told you that multiple times that Addie disappeared a long time ago. She was pushed so far into the hole, and that pretty much guarantees that she'll never see the light of day again. And you know what? You helped her put me there. There will be no selfies because I cannot smile pretty for the camera and pretend that everything is fine. It's not. I can't act like what you did didn't fuck me up. Do you have any idea how much money I spent on therapy over the past 17 years? Yeah, I kept track. Probably could have bought a small country by now.
Addie.
And my name is Addison. And maybe you didn't realize what was happening. He is a manipulative con artist after all. But that just makes you an idiot, which is much worse, and as far as I'm concerned, grounds for you to be banned from teaching in every school in the country. Go home with your hookup, Jessie. I'll be all right.
No, I'm going home with you.
Please. I want you to have fun.
Jessie grabs Addison and pulls her to the side.
Will you let go of me?
You left middle school and swore that if you ever saw either of them again, you'd jump off a bridge. I'm not letting that happen.
I was an overdramatic teenager.
You were an abuse victim who no one listened to. Call the Uber. I'll be out in a second.
But
Go.
Addison leaves.
What was that about?
You're not seriously asking me that, are you?
I'm a bit drunk, but it seems like you girls are upset with me for marrying my ex-husband.
Oh, so you do understand. Good. That means I don't have to explain it to you. Were you on something back then? Because after a master's degree in psychology, I still can't, for the life of me, figure out why you would have done what you did.
Excuse me?
Think about what went down. You could have stopped it, but instead you almost encouraged it. I can only think that you were smoking something.
I was young. I made a huge, terrible mistake.
And that is the first honest thing you've said since I've walked into this conversation. Was I angry? At the time, extremely. Am I now? Yes, but not for what you almost allowed to happen to me. I'm upset because of what you allowed to happen to her. She protected me. You needed to protect her and didn't. She was 13, Ms. Bukowski. She needed someone in her corner and she had no one. And for the record, we are just a few years younger than you were when that went down, and we sure as hell would never have let it happen. So don't lecture me on how youth is an excuse for ignorance.
Jessie exits. Diane watches her go. Jessie has struck a nerve.
Charlie? Is that margarita still on the table?
Lights. Scene 2. 2 days later. Late afternoon. Addison's classroom after hours. Addison is behind her desk grading papers. She's vastly different in appearance from her Saturday night escapades at the bar. Her hair is tied back, her clothes are not form-fitting, and she has a pair of librarian glasses on. If you met her at the bar for the first time, you would not believe it was the same person. There's a knock at the door.
Come in.
Principal Ed Bishop enters.
Hey, Addison, how's the grading?
It's going. Decent average this time around.
You do realize that your expectations for average are higher than the other teachers?
Well, when you actually teach the material instead of reciting it, you can expect more from your students.
Jeez, tell them how you really feel, will you?
I call it like I see it, Ed. And I seem to remember you having some snide comment about Miss Perry back in the day.
You knew about those?
Please. When are you going to learn that I hear everything?
Well,
I didn't grow that skill overnight. Are you here to help me grade, or is there another reason you're visiting me today?
we need to talk.
I surmised as much. Papa squat.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You seem angry today.
Tough weekend.
Need to talk about it?
Nope.
There's another knock at the door.
If this is a student who needs a conference, you're out.
Of course.
Yes.
Jessie enters. As opposed to Addison, she's the same Jessie we saw at the bar, just dressed more professionally.
Hey, what's up?
Ed wanted to see me?
Ed? Is there something you need to share?
Yes. Jessie, you may want to sit down.
Why does this feel like we're about to have a bomb dropped on us?
And I wanted to do this here as opposed to my office because this is your safe zone.
I really don't like the sound of this.
I don't suppose you will. We had a new enrollment today. Bit of a special case. Carl and Bill are both up to their eyes with their students. This student has to be with you.
Ed, you know I will always take in the strays, but And we all know Carl became a teacher accidentally and Bill a dinosaur. What's the big deal?
Because you're not gonna like this.
He's a kid. I'm a teacher. What's not to like?
Unless it's a certain Ryan Washburn.
Of course it's not. It can't be. They're back in?
Unfortunately, yes.
You can't be serious.
I can't do it, Ed, and I won't.
You need to.
I'll quit.
Go where? It's October. You would be out of work for a year. And then what do you say when you're asked why you quit at your next interview?
Fine. I won't quit, but I am not teaching him.
Addison, my hands are tied.
No, they're not. You can fix this at your job.
Bill has a full class and Carl is still recovering from the McGeary twins. He needs a break.
So move one of Bill's kids into my class.
Jesse, back me up here.
I'd rather not.
Fine. I'll say it myself. Moving a kid from another class for seemingly no reason is confusing and detrimental. You know this.
I don't have a choice, do I?
No. I wish I could hand him off to someone else.
I really don't like you right now.
Make that two of us.
I completely understand.
When does Satan's spawn start?
I know you've had your differences with Ryan's parents, but really?
Fine. When does the young Washburn start?
Tomorrow.
She was here?
Well, she had to enroll him.
Come clean, Ed. Is there anything else?
No, that's it. Addison, I know this isn't something you'd ever thought you'd have to do, but...
Do me a favor, Ed. Don't patronize me. You're putting me in a shitty situation working with a group of people that, frankly, I had hoped never to see again.
If I remember correctly, you decided to become a teacher to help those in the most important growing stage of their lives. Ryan is 11. Who he becomes will be determined within the next few years. If it hasn't already, if he has any chance of getting himself together, isn't this why you became a teacher?
Yes, but
And for the record, she knows how you feel about her.
Oh, so she knows I'm teaching him? That's just great.
Well, she was going to find out eventually.
Get out of my classroom.
Fine.
Ed, I just found out that I am about to start teaching the son of two individuals who, for lack of better phrasing, fucked up my life. I'm sorry, but I can't look at you right now. I'd really appreciate it if you just get out of my classroom.
I understand.
No, you don't. And you never did.
Ed walks to the door.
When you're ready to act like a professional adult, you know where to find me.
Ed exits.
Are you okay?
No. Did you know?
No. He pulled me in here because he wanted to run something by the two of us.
Jackass. But he's right. I became a teacher to protect kids like us, the ones with no voices, the ones who don't fall through the cracks and are pushed. Ryan is every reason that I do what I do. He's the student I've been waiting for. And I can't do it.
Trauma never leaves, Ads. It's twisted that Ryan is the kid on your doorstep, but he's innocent here. He didn't choose his parents, and he didn't choose to move here. Are you really going to deny a kid a decent education because of your history with his family?
You're good at your job.
You're good at yours too.
Maybe she had an affair and he looks like the baby daddy.
A chance.
A girl can dream.
You can do this.
I think I can.
You are stronger than you think you are. You were strong when Mr. Washburn decided we were easy targets. You were strong when Ms. Bukowski, who was supposed to have been on your side, decided to marry Mr. Washburn instead of ending the cruelty.
But so were you.
We both know that's not true.
You were a late bloomer. You just needed some extra support.
Which you shouldn't have had to give.
There wasn't another option. There wasn't another option. I was going to let him take us down.
Exactly. Ryan deserves that same fight.
But I don't have it anymore.
Trust me. Once he's in your class and you see him as your student and not the son of Lucifer, your thoughts on him will change. And should you get close to him, you won't pull on him what Diane pulled on you.
I don't date at work.
You don't date at all.
Rude.
In all seriousness, though, I believe in you.
I'm glad someone does.
Jessie hugs Addison. Lights change. Another classroom is shown. It is a flashback to when Addison and Jessie were kids. Addie and young Jessie are seated at desks. Trent is at the front.
Ladies, we meet again.
Hi, Mr. Washburn.
Addie,
Hi.
you sound as excited as I am to be here.
I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't keep up.
So am I. It's Friday. I should be getting as far from here as possible, but instead I'm stuck here tutoring you little shits.
It's not our fault that you can't teach in a way that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense the way I teach. 22 other students are passing without the need for me to hold their hands. Some of them are even getting A's. What's your excuse?
That I did very well in Mrs. DeMarco's class last year, so clearly I'm not the problem here.
Listen closely, you little brat. You mean nothing because you are nothing. You're nothing but an annoyance, and I would have no problem letting you fail if that didn't mean I'd be stuck with you for another year. However, I have too much respect for my sanity, and you will both pass my classes, both math and social studies. Understood?
Yes, sir.
I wasn't talking to you. You're just dumb, not annoying.
She's not dumb.
Jessie, did you also do well in Mrs. DeMarco's class?
She
Let her
said-
speak for herself. Did you do well in Mrs. DeMarco's class?
No, sir.
That's what I thought. Damn, I got clueless and yappy. Lucky me. Now, are we going to start the homework, or am I canceling my plans tonight?
The girls open their books. Addie makes a show of it.
Good girls. Now let's begin.
There's a knock at the door.
It's open.
Ed and Diane enter.
Trent, do you... good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon, Mr. Bishop and Mrs. Bulakowski. Miss Bulakowski, sorry.
We were wondering if you wanted to...
I'm tutoring Diane, but yes.
Oh, awesome.
Do you have a sitter for Sienna, or is she coming with us?
You can't bring a 5-year-old to where we're going, Trent.
Just checking for after.
Don't you need to start getting ready, Diane? Must take longer with a small child.
It does. I'll see you tonight.
Mr. Bishop,
Yes, Addie.
would you be able to tutor me?
Aren't you in the middle of a session right now?
Yes, but I feel that I, and Jessie actually, would benefit from being tutored by a teacher who doesn't swear at me and doesn't call Jessie clueless.
You must have misheard him, Addie.
I didn't. I'd ask you for the tutoring, but I'm not struggling in art class.
I'll see you on Monday, kid.
What did you say, Trent?
I told Addie to shift to a more upright position, and I told Jessie she wasn't useless.
Did not.
Addie, maybe you should get your hearing checked. And while I'm flattered you would ask me for help, Mr. Washburn is more than capable of making sure both you and Jessie get caught up and understand the material. I'll see you tonight, Trent.
Don't do that.
That wasn't what you said.
Oh, I know. But who are they going to believe? You, a couple teeny boppers, or me, a teacher? For the rest of the year, I rule this room. And that's not negotiable. You understand?
Yes, Mr. Washburn.
It's not fair.
Life's not fair, Yappy. Anything else?
Yes, since I can't get a new tutor, is there anything I can do for extra credit?
Extra credit.
Yes, extra credit.
Trent slowly stands, retrieves a couple of books, and throws them down in front of Addie and young Jessie.
Read it. Write me a one-page summary. I'll give you 10 extra points on your grade.
Deal.
Mr. Washburn,
What now?
why are mine in Asian symbols?
Because the author was Chinese.
Addie looks at Jessie's book.
Art of War? Seriously?
It's a classic,
It's ancient war tactics.
many of which are still used today. And why are you complaining? You got the novel.
I'm not complaining. I'll read Anna Karenina with pride, but why do you...
You want War and Peace instead?
No, sir.
I thought not. Read the book, summarize it. Have fun with Tolstoy. Now, clueless, walk me through question 1.
Lights. Scene 3. We return to the present, later that day. Diane and Ryan arrive home. Their apartment is tiny. Ryan comes in and drops his backpack on the ground. He begins to take his shoes off. Diane enters behind him, holding large bags of groceries.
Pick up that backpack, please, and make sure you put your shoes away. This apartment is too small to leave stuff lying around.
Not my fault you found the world's smallest apartment.
It's temporary until we find something better.
Good. You're sharing a room with my 20-year-old sister is just weird.
Agreed.
Hey, it was your choice to move out of your apartment when we moved here.
And I am regretting that decision. If I had known about this, I would have made a different choice. 3 slovenly roommates don't seem so bad anymore.
Well, you can't move back now. Will one of you please help me with the groceries?
Did we get chips?
You were in the store with me.
Doesn't mean I was paying attention.
No chips.
What? Man, this is bullshit.
Language, please.
Make me.
Stop mouthing off, will you? Can't handle a fight right now.
You're hungover, aren't you?
Ask me no questions, I will tell you no lies.
Typical.
Only learned it from the best.
Yes. Well, the difference is that I am legal and you, my dear, are not.
Well, that may be so, but watch this. Ryan, will you please stop cursing?
Sure. Anything for you, sis.
And that's how you get him to stop swearing, Mom.
Well, thank God you are here to teach me that. Honestly. I wish you guys would stop teaming up against me.
We're not against you.
We just understand each other as people.
I will try to understand this at a later time. But on a serious note, are you going to speak like that in Ms. Fowler's class?
Maybe, maybe not.
Miss Fowler?
My teacher. Apparently, Mom knew her from way back before I was born. She was one of my students.
Addie Fowler?
You remember her?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Well, she's insisting on going by Addison now. And Ryan, if she's anything like the way I imagined her as an adult, her class will not suck.
Yes, it will. She knows you. She knows Dad. That cannot end well for me.
Knew us. We've had no contact for years.
Hey, kid, Mom did get some donuts. Want to binge on them and then stay up all night and with a marble marathon?
Yes, please.
You have school in the morning.
You're hungover.
Your point being?
Will you be able to watch?
And Miss Thor being the ultimate badass? Never. And look, soda.
Score!
Get your pajamas on. I'll be there in a minute.
Don't you work in the morning?
Yes, but he'll be passed out cold in half an hour. He had a long day.
Fine. Just keep him away from the soda. I bought that to bribe him to do his homework with.
Oh, so now you're resorting to bribery. Great parenting, Mom.
Yeah? So how would you do it?
Asking him nicely.
You know that doesn't work.
Works for me just fine.
It won't work for homework.
Have you ever asked him why homework is hard for him?
It's because he doesn't pay attention in class.
Or maybe it's because no one listens to him.
It's not true. We tried with him.
Oh, please. You sat with him for an hour and then gave up, just like everyone else in the education system. You know what his problem is? He gets so nervous with the material that he gives up before he starts, and then he gets labeled as disruptive, reinforcing his belief that he can't do the work. And then your husband yells at him, you take his side, and he gets even more scared.
Ex-husband. And I left him because of the yelling.
Not soon enough.
He was pretty good to you.
When he wasn't yelling.
He never yelled.
Not at you. He used manipulation on you. Manipulation and charm. He did the same with everyone at that school, which is ultimately what allows him to get away with it.
Don't do this.
Don't make me chaperone his visitation next week.
Oh, here we go.
Why am I even allowed to be doing this?
It's not in official capacity. I just don't trust leaving them alone together, and you were his stepdaughter. It won't be suspicious if you tag along.
We haven't spoken since I moved out to college. He's not an idiot. He'll know why I'm there.
Just do it. For me. And stay sober for it, please.
I'll do my best. But back to Ryan. If you would just listen to what he's trying to tell you, then I think that maybe...
I do listen!
Mom, if you had listened to him, you would have divorced Trent years ago. And I'm glad Ryan ended up in Addison's class, because after the crap both of you put her through, Ryan may finally have someone who knows how to listen to him and make sure he knows it too.
Sienna grabs the soda.
I'm taking these. A Marvel marathon is more fun with beverages.
He has school in the morning.
This isn't for him.
Sienna exits. Diane grabs a beer.
We already established that you're working in the morning too, kid.
Diane drinks. Lights. Scene 4. Addison's classroom 2 days later. Addison and Ryan are sitting across from each other at her desk.
My mom's always late.
That was the case when I was her student. Glad to know some things never change.
Sienna had a late class. At this rate, she could pick me up anyway.
It happens. Don't worry about it.
My dad's always on time.
That hasn't changed either. You're doing really well so far.
I am?
Yes. You seem to be settling in nicely.
If you say so.
I do say so.
I suck at fractions.
You're not so bad.
Yes, I am. And you've only been my teacher for 2 days. You don't know that for sure yet.
Yes, I've only been your teacher for 2 days, but you're not my first student. Trust my judgment.
I'll try.
That's all I ask. And I know, and I know you won't right away.
Thank you. You know my dad?
Long time ago.
He's coming next Friday.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I miss him, but he scares me.
That's understandable.
I mean, he's my dad. I shouldn't be afraid of my dad.
No kid should ever be afraid of their parent. But it happens. And I'm sure he doesn't mean to scare you. It's just who he is.
Great.
The visit will go well.
You sure?
As sure as I can be.
I hate my mom.
No, you don't.
She did this.
She did what she thought she had to do.
She had to marry him?
At the time. But I'm sure it was the right decision for her, and you wouldn't be here if she hadn't.
Maybe. Maybe not. Oh, before I forget.
Ryan reaches into his backpack and pulls out a wrapped gift.
I almost forgot to give you this.
What is it?
It's from my mom. She called it a peace offering.
Addison takes it, tears a piece off the front, and stops.
What's wrong?
Nothing.
She hands the book back to Ryan.
Tell your mom it's very sweet, but very unnecessary.
Did I do something wrong?
No, not in the slightest.
Don't lie to me.
I'm not.
I do suck at fractions, don't I?
No, you don't. You just need to believe that you can do it.
Typical.
What is?
Deflection. It's what you teachers do when you don't want to tell us the truth.
The door opens and Sienna enters with Jessie.
Mom was supposed to pick me up.
Change of plans. She's in the car. You ready to go?
Yep, let's go.
How's your day?
Shitty. Everyone lies.
Hey now.
Ryan, we talked about this. Remember when we had that conversation?
This morning.
Yes, this morning. And what did we agree on?
No swearing.
Exactly. Now, I know that things are rough right now and you've got a whole lot of change going on, but you still need to be a decent human being. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. So what happens now?
I'm sorry for swearing, Miss Fowler.
That's all right, Ryan. Just don't make a habit of it, okay?
Okay.
We'll talk consequences when we get home. Let's go. Mom's in the car.
Is she hiding from me?
Partially. She also had a date with Captain Morgan last night and is not feeling her best.
Whoa! Mom had a date with a pilot last night?
Ryan, would you like a milkshake from the cafeteria?
Mom will kill me.
Mom doesn't need to find out.
Then sure, I guess.
If you behave for Miss Hauser, I won't tell Mom about the swearing either.
Deal.
Ryan and Jessie exit.
I almost didn't recognize you, Sienna Bukowski.
Of course you didn't. I haven't seen you in almost 15 years, Addison Fowler.
Are you in school?
Yeah, elementary ed.
You gonna be a teacher?
Yep.
Just like your grown-ups.
Thank you for not calling them my parents.
I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Thanks for that. But yeah, living with the two of them, I have a pretty good idea of what not to do in the classroom, so I figure I have a slight advantage there.
That's one way to look at it. You're a natural with Ryan.
Please don't hold what I did there against me.
Why would I?
I don't usually resort to bribery, but he went to bed thinking Mom was okay. And she was, until I yelled at her.
But it's not your fault.
I should have known better.
Your mom has a problem. Whether you instigated or not, she would have hit the bottle. It's a disease, remember that.
It's hard to watch.
I know.
I moved out of my apartment when she told me they were moving here. I wanted to make sure he was okay. Now I'm questioning that decision.
You're trying to take care of your brother.
But at the sake of your own mental health, I'm sorry. I essentially just met you and I'm just...
No, it's fine.
You don't need to hear how my life is...
Sienna, yes, basically we just met again. But if there's anyone in the world who knows what that man is capable of, it's me. So please don't feel as if you just have to justify it. I get it.
Wasn't I an idiot for moving back in?
I think you were put in an impossible situation, and you made the choice that you had to make. Anyone with a heart would have made the same one.
So I am an idiot.
No, that's not what I said. You're a tiger protecting the cub. Ryan is lucky to have you as a sister. You're the person you and I wish he had when it was us. Am I wrong?
No. I just never want him to feel as alone as I did.
Completely understandable.
When I'm out of school and I get a decent job, I'm taking him with me. We'll start fresh, away from the drama.
Jessie and Ryan re-enter, Ryan with the strawberry milkshake.
Hey kid, you ready to go?
Yep.
Awesome.
Addison hands Sienna a note.
That's my cell, if you need it. Anytime, okay?
Okay, let's go. Mom's waiting.
Ryan and Sienna exit.
Did you get a read on him?
Seems to be a normal, well-adjusted kid, but we know that doesn't necessarily mean anything.
He's pulling the same shit on him that he did on us.
You sure?
Ryan nailed the pop quiz on fractions I threw at him in class today. And He's convinced that he's useless.
He's not useless. You know that.
I do, but I don't know how to convince him that when his father still scares the shit out of me.
You can do it.
I'm not so sure.
Ryan's situation is no worse than Tatiana Garibaldi's, even arguably less severe. The only difference is that Tatiana's father didn't damage you as a child. And where is she now?
Just started her sophomore year in the honor roll at Miss Porter's.
See? Ryan will be a piece of cake.
I had help.
But you had her the year she came into the system. Thompson, Jenkins, and Stanley rode your coattails. You're the one who got her on track.
You're good at your job, you know that?
I know.
The door flies open. Diane storms in a rage.
Hey, Fowler.
Hello, Diane.
You do not tell me what I can and cannot do, Sienna Rain. And I didn't I specifically tell Ryan no sweets before dinner? Where the fuck do you get off giving him a milkshake after I tell him that?
But I didn't mean to.
Got it. And you, I know you were raised in a barn, but I thought you would at least accept a gift.
Mom!
Wow.
It wasn't appropriate.
It was a goddamn book.
Well, this explains Ryan's reluctance to trust me.
How dare you? You keep my son out of this.
Really? Because you married a bastard who took pleasure in verbally abusing me for years? And despite multiple official reports, he was never stopped. And he promised me 10 extra points, extra credit if I read one of Tolstoy's tomes. And when I actually did it, he gets pissed off and meant that he could actually fail me. And doesn't give me full credit. Where were you then? Oh, that's right, in bed with him. And now the tables are turned. Your son's in my class, and you try to gift me a copy of a book that made me realize how much of a manipulated bastard he was? And you get offended when I don't accept it, and you have the audacity to accuse me of dragging him into this? Don't play games, Diane, with me. You won't win.
Sienna, is Ryan in the car?
Yes.
Let's go talk to him.
But
He shouldn't now. He shouldn't be in the parking lot alone.
Jesse and Sienna exit.
I thought the book was War and Peace.
I wouldn't have made it through War and Peace.
No one expected you to make it through Anna Karenina.
So you remember what it was now.
Now that you mention it.
Well, I proved him wrong.
Yes, you did.
And I was tortured for reading the classic Russian novel at 13. I'm assuming it was because he was telling people I couldn't do it. The teacher gossip mill is the same in every school. In his eyes, being proved wrong made him look bad. Am I right?
Yes.
I don't really care what grade level you are. Condensing the entire of Anna Karenina to one of the page summaries is damn impressive.
Yes, it
I
is.
deserve full credit. I can't accept the book.
I know that now.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I overreacted.
You're forgiven for this.
I didn't know you were going to be his teacher. Are you sure you're okay with teaching him?
I have no problem with Ryan, and he's innocent, and I'm glad to hear that. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm glad to hear that.
And I will never punish a kid for something he didn't do.
But you're still angry with me.
Some wounds don't heal well. The more time you spend away from your ex, the more you realize how good of a manipulator he is.
You weren't married to him.
But remind yourself who told you not to marry him.
You were 13. There was no way I was going to listen to a 13.
Does my age at that time matter now? The result is the same. I'm sorry if I was too harsh.
I feel like you've been wanting to say that for some time now.
I was hoping never to get the chance.
I suppose you would like an apology.
Not necessary.
But you want one.
I'm not going to sit here and ask for something that won't be genuine.
I never wanted to hurt anyone, least of all you.
Nothing we can do about that now. You should take Ryan home.
He needs a minute.
You're right. You're right.
How long should I give him?
You're his mother. You tell me.
You understand him better.
I've known him for 2 days.
I did this to him. You've been living the same nightmare for 15 years. How do I help him?
Ask Jessie.
I'm asking you.
Ask Jessie. That's her field.
I'm asking you.
She studies this.
You lived it.
So did she.
Not as deeply as you did.
What do you want me to say, Diane? That trauma has a magic cure, or it comes in some sort of measurable amount? Hey, I had 16 vials of verbal abuse and experiencing a 7-1 on the trauma scale. So let me have 3 gel capsules to numb it. No, it doesn't work that way. Yes, I lived through it and survived it. I'm a seemingly functional adult, but I still wake up crying sometimes. Will it happen to Ryan? I have no idea. But you're his mother. It's your job to figure out how to lessen the pain, not mine. And I will not analyze my experience to help you do it.
Diane is silent. She walks to the door, then turns back to Addison.
Don't try it. I made it through Tolstoy once, and I won't be tortured myself, and I won't torture myself with War and Peace.
Diane exits. Lights. Scene 5. Sienna and Ryan and Jessie are sitting on a bench by the parking lot.
I didn't do anything.
I know.
Why did she get mad?
It wasn't her, it was Captain Morgan.
Did she drive here?
No, I wouldn't let her.
Good girl.
I hate her. And I hate you.
What? What did I do?
You promised things would get better.
And they will. We're all still adjusting. It'll take some time.
Too much time.
Please, be patient.
What's better with Dad?
No, it wasn't.
At least at home I had a room to hide in. Now I share that closet with you.
Hey, I'm not keen on sharing with you either, kid. But isn't sharing that hobbit hole really worse than hearing how you'll never amount to anything every night? Or listening to him scream at Mom? I will be the first person to agree with you that our current apartment sucks, and in a lot of ways, our lives are a whole lot worse now. But she got you out. You're not doing your homework with Dad breathing down your neck anymore. That's a plus, right?
It's been 2 days. Everything feels weird and nothing feels right. I want Dad.
You'll see him next week.
Things aren't better. I'm not better. And Mom's worse than she was before we left.
That must make you feel sad.
Stay out of this. You're not part of this family.
Ryan.
It's okay, Sienna.
Go away. You're just another Mrs. Percy.
Mrs. Percy was useless. Miss Hauser is not.
You just met her.
I knew her when I was little.
I don't believe you.
Your dad drove a red Mustang.
Deanna could have told you that.
It had a dent on the left bumper. Jody Baylor's mom put it there.
He still has that car. He almost never drives it anymore.
And let me guess, he never lets either of you touch it, right?
Never.
Sometimes I think he loves that car more than me.
I bet you feel pretty lonely.
Always.
He made me feel that a bit too, when he was my teacher. He made Miss Fowler feel that too.
Really?
Yes. So we understand, and if you ever need to talk to either of us, we'll be here.
Sure.
Ryan, as long as you're in my school, your dad can't hurt you. Miss Fowler and I will make sure of that. You are always welcome in my office for any reason. Okay?
Okay. Sienna,
Yes,
will Mom ever get better?
I don't know.
I miss her. And I miss Dad.
He hugs Sienna and begins to cry. Sienna kisses his head. She steals a look at Jessie, who looks close to tears herself. Young Jessie appears on stage and hugs Jessie from behind. Jessie does not feel her there. Lights. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. Diane's apartment. Sienna is reading in a chair. Diane staggers in from her bedroom and makes her way to the kitchen.
Morning, sunshine.
What time is it?
About 1 a.m.
Water.
Knock yourself out.
You're up late.
I'm studying.
At midnight?
1.
Whatever. Why so late?
Because up until 20 minutes ago, I was calming your son, and I have tests tomorrow.
Calming him?
Yes, Mother. Now, if you don't mind, I need to focus.
I should see if he needs anything.
Don't. I just got him to fall asleep.
Oh. Can I help you study?
I don't think so.
Why not? I'm a teacher. You're an education major.
You're an art teacher.
So?
It's a bio test.
You taking bio?
Yes, Mother.
Why?
Because it's a requirement.
That's odd.
Not really, if you think about it. Elementary teachers teach everything.
True.
I would think you would know that.
Sue me. It's been 20 years. Things change.
Hangover cures don't.
No, they don't. And you will become well aware of that.
Right.
So your brother...
Don't pretend like you don't know why he's upset.
I understand part of it.
Okay. So without me beating a dead horse here, Addison is Ryan's teacher. Upsetting her more than necessary will do nothing but upset him. So try to lay low, all right?
All right.
Also, he wanted me to tell you to dump Captain Morgan.
He did not.
His words, not mine.
That's a tomorrow me question. Conversation.
Did Trent really challenge her with Tolstoy?
Yeah. He didn't expect her to read it.
Sounds like him. Sounds just like the Addison I remember.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want me to check on him?
Yes.
I'm his mother.
Still smell like the captain.
Oh. I'm a failure.
You are not. You're just damaged. We all are.
But it's my fault.
Don't throw a pity party. I'm not in the mood.
Fine.
Thank you.
Good luck on your test.
Diane makes her way to the door. She turns back to Sienna.
You're not getting the chair.
I'm your mother.
And I'm comfortable in not consoling my crying brother for the first time all night. Go back to your sleep in your own room.
Fine.
Thank you.
I hope you do well tomorrow.
Appreciated.
Diane heads back towards the door, making several false starts along the way.
May I please have the chair?
No.
You can have my room.
No.
You're giving up your own room for the night over a chair?
That's right. What's so wrong with the room that you want to get rid of it so badly?
I threw up.
Gross.
So where do I sleep?
In your own room. Change your sheet.
It's late.
Oh, which one of us is supposed to be the parent here?
Sienna, I had a rough day.
And I didn't?
You didn't fuck up.
I cleaned up your mess while you almost put yourself into an alcoholic coma.
The only way I know how to deal.
yoga, jogging, painting. You're an art teacher. Do absolutely anything artistic.
That requires thinking.
You're discouraging active thought? Isn't promoting that part of your job description?
Smartass.
There are other ways to numb the pain, Mom.
Says the girl who sneaks into bars.
Oh, please. It's not like you never did it.
I just never got caught. Just do me a favor. Don't show up to the visitation hammered. It'll set him off.
You can have the chair.
Really?
Really, but I am not changing your sheets.
Where are you going?
I am not an alcoholic. I have never been married to an abusive dickwad. Yes, I have a fake ID. I know which bars don't card, and I come home shit-faced sometimes, but I am not an alcoholic. I never forget to pick up Ryan. My homework gets done, and I get you put to bed. Trent is not my father. I have no obligation to see him.
I need you to do it for Ryan.
Ryan will be fine. Trent was tough on him, but never cruel, and Ryan misses him.
What are you doing?
I'm packing. What does it look like?
Why?
Because I'm leaving.
It's midnight.
What I am, actually.
All the more reason to stay here.
I can't with you right now.
You're not exactly a walk in the park either, dear.
I have a test in the morning. If I stay, I will spend the night arguing with you.
And just where are you planning on going at 1 a.m.?
Probably the dorms. I'll figure it out.
Sienna.
What?
I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Probably see you in the morning.
Sienna leaves, slamming the door behind her. Diane watches, then settles herself in the chair and goes to sleep. Lights. Scene 2. Addison's bedroom. She's asleep. There's a book open across her chest. Addie sits on the edge of the bed. She picks up the book and begins flipping through the pages. Addison begins to stir. She sees Addie.
You know who I am?
Am I dead?
No, just asleep.
Well, that makes sense.
Hey, it's your subconscious, not mine. But while I'm here, why are we rereading this?
You're the one invading my headspace. You tell me.
Touche, but seriously, we swore once we finished it the first time we would never touch that crap again.
Things change.
Not that much.
Well, now that Ryan is my student and his dipshit mother tried to re-gift me the book that helped me put me down the rabbit hole, I thought I'd give it another look.
Why?
Because maybe, just maybe, it could help me figure out what the hell happened back then.
You know what happened.
You have a lot of faith in me.
No more than you should have in yourself.
Jesus, was I always this poetic?
Always, but I speak the truth. I have no more faith than you should have in yourself.
I'm not going to argue with a former teenage self.
Your choice.
And I'm not sure I fully understand exactly why it all happened. Why was he allowed to teach? Why me? And how was he able to get away with it? And why haven't I had the chutzpah to actually live my life since then?
You make my future sound so glamorous.
You're the one crashing my present. I didn't invite you. And how I think of myself is how I deserve to be thought of.
I'd ask you who hurt you, but we both know the answer to that.
What have I done with my life?
Oh, for fudge's sake. You're a teacher. Your students love you.
Not all of them.
No teacher has a 100% success rate. I'm 13 and I know that, but how many teachers have a Tatiana Garibaldi?
That's one student.
A student whose life you've changed. You're only 30-ish. See the big picture, will you? What would have happened if Diane stepped up for us instead of turning into a freaking Benedict Arnold? What if she were the teacher that you are?
Look, past self. I know who we were supposed to become. But you know who we became instead? Anna. We let life happen to us, and when we tried to make a change, we made bad choices.
For all in the love that is holy, read a new book. That one's bringing you down. Here.
Addie produces a new book.
Honey, I know that you haven't had much of a chance yet, but we don't do classics very well. Too much pointless description. Hawthorne knows how to write a good story, but he was still paid by the word.
I'm aware, but you read this one easily in high school. You can read it again now. I, for one, am looking forward to reading it next year. Nathaniel Hawthorne was a writer of his time. We made it through Leo. You're seriously telling me Nathaniel is worse?
He spends 7 pages describing the house that Hester doesn't even live in.
At least his native language is English.
He does not, he does have that going for him.
And I would never suggest that we slog through another book that puts us to sleep. But what Hawthorne has on Tolstoy, he knew how to write a bad butt woman.
He wrote about women who spent her life being ashamed of having a kid by a man other than her husband.
True, but by the end of the book, she was wearing the A with pride, and she still found it in herself to help the poor, and she outlived the men who tried to bring her down. Call me crazy, but that seems pretty bad, but to me. Just give it a try. Hester lives by her own rules. Anna was a tragic character in every sense of word, right down to the point where she dies to the classic heroine. And I use that word loosely because that biddy ain't inspiring no one. Death. So you ask yourself, do you want me growing up pining and crying my entire life?
I do not do that.
And leave Ryan Washburn to drown, or will you be Hester Prynne, who defined social expectations and stayed true to who she was?
That is not that kind of situation.
Stop lying to yourself. Ryan is 2 years younger than I am. Does he have our strength?
I don't know.
Are you going to allow him to feel the shame that you did, which you dang well know is exemplified because he lived with him? Would you be able to live with yourself if you do nothing and try to change his circumstances? What you so clearly can. You have a week.
A week?
1 week.
I can't turn a kid's life in a week.
Yes, you can. Look outside the classroom. 1 week.
There's a flash of light. Addison is asleep again, and Addie is gone. The 2 books remain visible to Addison. There's a loud knock at the door. Addison jolts awake and throws a sweatshirt on.
You should really lock your doors at night.
Sienna?
In the flesh. What are you doing?
What are you doing here?
Diane's being Diane.
Say no more.
Actually, no. She's being more insane than usual.
Ouch.
She can't figure out why you got upset today.
Seriously?
Seriously.
I'm so sorry about that. I didn't think
It's not your fault. It's hers. She should have known that would set you off.
Please, it's been how many years? And I'm the one who could have handled that better.
Whatever. It doesn't matter now.
Where's Ryan now?
At home, asleep. He's safe. She's too far gone to cause more problems, but not far gone enough to not protect him if she needs to.
Good.
I locked your door on the way in.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Speaking of which, why are you here?
I told you, Diane's being Diane.
So you crashed my place at 2 in the morning?
1:30.
Close enough.
Sienna has started unpacking.
Wait, what?
I'm crashing here tonight. I have to study for a while, so I'll do that in the other room. There's no room to sleep in there, so I'll crash on the floor in here.
Sienna pulls a 6-pack out of the backpack.
What is that?
Well, study help. Can't study without a bit of assistance. See you in the morning. Have a good night, Addison. Sleep well.
Hold it.
Yes?
First of all, give me that.
But I need it for...
No, you don't. Hand them over.
Sienna reluctantly hands Addison the beer.
Thank you. Secondly, Diane being Diane is not an answer. Why are you here?
I needed to get away from her.
And?
I need more of a reason.
You could have gone to the dorms with the kids your own age who wouldn't have confiscated your hooch. You're smart, well-educated college girl, and you're telling me you don't have friends there?
Well, they get to be 20 instead of 40. They get to stay out late and party and come home to their own beds. They don't go to class and wonder what state they'll find their mom in or if their brother will end up back with his dad.
It really scares you, doesn't it?
So much. Anyway, Mira and Sam just don't get that. But you do. And she thinks I'm there instead of here. And I just thought that... I'll pack up.
It's okay. I told you to call if you needed any help. Just caught me off guard by coming to my apartment instead. Come sit. I don't bite. Or you can try to explain to Mira and Sam why you can't study at home in the middle of the night.
Sienna sits on the bed.
Ryan safe?
Yes.
Good. Now what about you?
Me?
Yes. From what I managed to translate, you spent the rest of the days calming and soothing him. And now you're here at this godforsaken hour. You haven't studied, and I see those tears you're holding back.
Well, it's not like you've never cried.
I never lived with him.
But you protected Jesse.
Still not the same. But yes, there were tears, many tears.
Addison?
Yes?
I don't know if what I want to ask is appropriate. And you don't have to answer, but...
You want to know why he singled me out?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said it.
No, it's okay. The short version is that he mistakenly thought that I was an easy target. When he realized I wasn't, it just made him angry. Angry because he was wrong. But I think the word angry doesn't quite cover it. Trent is a deeply troubled guy with mommy issues. To have a seemingly vulnerable female student challenge his authority was threatening. So he made it his mission to drag me down at every possible moment. Even then, he was an evil genius. He found my weak spots and then went after them. Sadly so, if I reported it, all I was told was, get over it.
He still does that.
I'm not surprised. Anyway, he never got caught and I got labeled too sensitive crybaby.
Yeah, but you did try and report it, right?
Of course I did. But like I said, no one listened. No one wanted to listen to a teenage girl over a grown man.
Even my mom?
Kind of. She did listen.
But she did nothing.
Unfortunately.
Typical. Well, I should go to the dorms. You have to teach in the morning.
And you have a test in the morning. It's late. I'll make up the bed on the floor in here.
You sure?
Of course I'm sure I am. And you can stay here as long as you need.
Thank you.
Sienna reaches for the beer.
No go, Sparky.
Damn it.
Go study.
Addison gets out of bed, revealing a nightgown straight out of the Victorian era under her sweatshirt.
What?
Even your pajamas age you.
I'm a teacher, not a fashion icon.
Clearly.
Go study.
We will work on this tomorrow.
Living room, study now.
Fine.
And Sienna,
Yes?
being a teacher is one of the most mentally draining jobs out there. Needing to be inhibited to study doesn't reflect kindly on your future career. You may want to think about that.
I just use it as a study.
I don't want to hear it. Find a legal study buddy. I hear Sprite does wonders.
If you say so.
And one more thing.
Yeah?
I have PTSD. I live alone. Don't pick my lock again, all right?
Fine.
Sienna exits. Addison begins pulling out pillows and blankets. She stops and stares in the mirror. She pulls off the sweatshirt, revealing the full atrocity of the nightgown. She begins futzing with the nightgown, clearly starting to feel self-conscious about it. Lights up on Addie, holding a book. Addison goes back to setting up Sienna's bed. Addie opens the book, pulls out a sheet of paper, and reads.
The Scarlet Letter, summarized by Addison Juliana Fowler. The Scarlet Letter is a novel written in 1850 by Nathaniel Hawthorne. It tells the story of Hester Prynne, an English woman living in a colonial America who is publicly condemned for having a baby with someone who is not her husband. After being jailed, she refuses to tell her husband who the father of the baby is, sending her husband into a jealous rage. Once released, Hester was forced to wear a scarlet A on her chest to remind people of her guilt. As time goes on, the A becomes less of a requirement and more of an identity for Hester, and women in the town begin to recognize her as a mother figure and a safe haven from their own misogynistic husbands. The novel ends with Hester outliving both her husband and her lover, her daughter inheriting a huge inheritance from Hester's husband. This is a story of redemption and overcoming psychological adversity.
Lights. Scene 3. Addison's classroom 2 days later. Addison is sitting at her desk. In the front row sits Ryan. Addison looks considerably less like a librarian.
So,
Here
we are.
I guess.
You did well in class today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I like your hair down like that.
Thank you.
Sienna did a good job.
What makes you think Sienna did it?
Well, she checks on me twice a day and then leaves. And then you come to class with better hair and not looking older than my mom.
I keep forgetting how smart you are.
Don't get used to it.
Can we talk about class today?
That's why you kept me late, right? Other than my mom not being here on time again.
Yes, it is. I have good news. Unfortunately, no. We can dream, though. But you're not nearly as bad at fractions as you think you are.
That's bullshit, I call myself. I said bullshit.
I know. Good catch. And like I said, you're not as bad at fractions as you think you are. Actually, you're quite good.
That can't be true.
Your father is a sad little man who takes pleasure in belittling everyone around him, especially those who see himself in a position of power over.
That's not true. He's just really strict.
Your family really likes the word, don't you?
What?
Never mind. But is that really how you see it?
Well, yeah, he's my dad.
I see.
He always says that anything less than perfect is failing.
That's always one of his favorites.
I can never ace a test with fractions.
It's not about acing. It's about understanding the material.
And if you're not getting it right every time, clearly you don't understand it.
Let me tell you a secret. Grown-ups look like they've got everything together, and a lot of them act like they've got everything together, but they very rarely do. And none of us are perfect. As much as we'd like to think that perfection exists, it doesn't. So if you can't ace a test, it's not the end of the world. It just means you're human. Fudge, if you get an ace every time, that's spectacular.
But being human just isn't good enough.
That's what we all are. And at the end of the day, as long as we do our best and we're still breathing, that's all that matters. And
Addison pulls out a worksheet and hands it to him.
sometimes doing well is an added bonus. Look at the grade you got on the quiz today.
I didn't ace it.
It's a 93. Almost no one in the class even hit 90. Only 2 other kids did.
You padded my grade.
I swear to you, I did not.
Pinky swear?
Cross my heart and hope to die. So no more talk about how you stink at fractions, all right?
I'll try.
If you tell your dad at visitation how you kicked the rest of the class's butt, he'll like that.
He won't like the 93.
He'll like that it was the highest grade in the class. Tell him I'm a tough grader. He'll really like that.
Yeah, he will.
You nervous for visitation?
A little. But I'm also excited. I really miss him.
That's understandable.
Do you think he's mad at me?
Why would he be mad at you?
Because I left with my mom.
That was your mom, not you.
My mom is late. That'll make him mad.
He'll be happy when he sees you.
Miss Fowler?
Yeah?
What did my dad do to you?
Excuse me?
Sienna told me to trust you because you had my dad as a teacher. You had him, you became a teacher, and Sienna trusts you and has been living at your house for the past 2 days. All of that means that he did something to you. Was it bad?
Lights up on Addie. She is crying to Ed in the classroom.
I don't know what else I can do.
You did everything you could.
Clearly not.
Hey, Mr. Washburn is tough, and I don't think he actually expected you to finish the whole book.
He definitely didn't, but shouldn't he be impressed by that? Shouldn't that translate to more grades, not less?
It should. I'm sure he's just in shock.
Not an excuse.
Agreed.
Why is he still teaching?
Excuse me?
Why is he still teaching? I can't be his only victim. Why has no parent spoken out?
Addie, now...
It's because the guy's too smart. He knows how to play the system by making the kids look crazy. It's genius. It really is.
He's not a criminal mastermind, Addie. He's a middle school teacher.
His profession doesn't matter. Jeffrey Dahmer was considered a good guy.
That is not a good comparison.
He's a sociopath. Why does no one who can do something about that see it?
Because he is not a sociopath. He just made a mistake. He's human.
Why are you defending him?
There's a knock at the door.
Come in.
Addie?
Go away.
Be nice.
Why? She's complicit.
She is not. She teaches you art, not social studies or math. And I think she can help you more than I can.
But
I don't know how to help you. And I have a parent meeting.
It's Mrs. Hauser coming to ask you why Jessie comes home in nervous wreck every night. Why don't you be honest with her?
I can't do that. It would be unprofessional.
And passing me off isn't?
It's not like I'm abandoning you.
Yes, you are. Just like she did.
Don't be dramatic.
And I didn't abandon you.
Stop lying.
Call my office if you need anything.
Ed exits.
So, what's going on?
I'm not talking to you.
Why not?
You know why.
I want you to say it.
You're dating the man who wants to destroy me.
He doesn't want to destroy you.
Yes, he does.
Addie slaps a paper down in front of Diane.
What do you call this?
7 out of 10.
On.
A 1-page summary of Anna Karenina. You finished it. Congrats. I couldn't get past the first 100 pages in my 20s, and you did it at 13. That's amazing.
Read the comment.
If he says,
I asked for the hardest book on the extra credit shelf, sacrificed my spring break for it, and managed to summarize all 1,000 pages into one, and his response, 7 out of 10, because it's too much of a retelling of the story. What the hell is a summary if it's not retelling the story? What the hell did I do wrong?
I don't know, but clearly it wasn't what he wanted.
But what else could I have done?
Nothing. There was nothing else you could have done.
Don't marry him.
What?
He's a master of manipulation. Don't fall for it.
That is none of your business.
Just saying, don't do it.
Lights down on Addie and Diane.
Miss Fowler, what did my dad do to you?
A version of what he's done to you, I suspect.
That sucks.
Yes, it does.
Are we crazy?
Excuse me?
Are we crazy? They said I was overdramatic and too sensitive at my old school. So are we?
Your dad is a very flawed individual, Ryan. He's a brilliant man, but he challenges his brilliance in less than a kind way. We're not crazy. We were targets. And I won't call us victims because we are more than that. We are survivors. And for that, we should stand tall. But the rest of the world, they just can't see that.
People are morons.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Maybe the rest of the world are the crazy ones. The ones too dumb to see people for who they really are.
They're not dumb. They've just never had to look deeper into the surface.
There's a knock on the door.
Come in.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
Dad'll be mad.
No, he won't. Your time's at 4, not 3. Sienna wrote it in early on the calendar to make sure you got there on time. You ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
See you next week, Miss Fowler.
See you next week, Ryan. Great job today.
Thanks.
They exit. Addison watches them leave. She smiles. She pulls out papers to grade. There's a knock at the door.
Come in.
The door opens. Trent enters. Addison does not look up.
Hey, Jess. Magnolias tonight? Maybe your almost booty call will be back tonight and you can get a do-over?
He wasn't my type.
Addison freezes. Slowly, she looks up.
So you're my son's teacher.
Yes. Yes, I am.
You don't seem like much of a teacher.
Don't judge by appearances.
Hard not to.
Don't you have a visitation with your son over at Palmer Park?
In a half hour. I just wanted to see who was responsible for my son's education. And I'm sure that we both know that Diane will be late. She always is. I have time.
Actually, you just missed them. They're on their way over now.
Well, that's a first. So, Ryan tells me you were one of mine.
Yes, sir.
You must have been one of my failures.
I was one of your intentional failures.
I don't have intentional fails.
We both know that's not true. You at least have one a year. Except my year, Jesse Hauser and I fought like hell, and we both passed.
Who the hell is Jesse Hauser?
Not important right now. What is important is that educationally speaking, Ryan is now my responsibility. And as your son's teacher, I can promise that his education will be solid.
Well, thank you.
He rocked a pop quiz today.
That's good to hear. Did he ace it?
He got a 93.
So he failed.
It was the highest grade in the class.
And you call yourself a decent educator?
No, I call myself a competent and caring one. If all my students aced, I wouldn't be doing my job. I might also add that none of my students failed this one, so I can call Ryan's 93 a roaring success.
Oh my God.
What?
You're a snowflake.
Listen, Trent.
Mr. Washburn.
No, you lost my respect when you blatantly tried to fail me. So Trent, yes, I am a snowflake. I am a snowflake because I am a unique and because I survived falling from the sky to become something bigger.
You're joking, right?
I have never been more serious. Now, are you going to stay in my classroom and trying to insult me and call me names, or are you going to your visitation with your son? I only ask because he misses you like crazy.
He does.
Yes. You're his father. Of course he misses you, despite you being a revolting excuse for a man.
He's getting a new teacher.
No, he's not.
Oh, yes, he is. I will not allow.
You can try all you want, but all the other classes are full. Short of uprooting him and putting him in a completely new school, he's stuck with me.
I will find a way. Just you wait.
He exits in a rage. Addison collapses in her chair as Jessie runs in.
Was that just Trent Washburn who almost ran me over in the hallway?
The one and only.
Are you okay?
Fine. He tried to rile me up and I turned it on him.
Progress?
You could call it that.
What?
What? He got upset when I called him out for what he really was, and then he called me a snowflake, and I swore he would be pulling Ryan from my class.
So?
All we wanted when we were in his class was to find a way out. Now he wants Ryan out of my class. 15 years later, karma never felt so good.
Addison falls into happy hysterics. Jessie soon joins in. Lights up on Addie, and young Jessie in the corner, unseen by the adults. The kids smile at their future selves and hug. Scene 4. Diane's apartment later that evening. She's eating dinner and reading a book. The door flies open. Ryan flies in, making a beeline for the bedroom.
How'd it go?
Fine.
Just fine?
I don't want to talk about it.
Do you want dinner?
No.
Ryan slams the door behind him. Trent enters through the front door.
Do you want to tell me what that was about?
He got mad because I got him a milkshake.
A strawberry one?
Chocolate.
He hates chocolate.
No son of mine is drinking something pink.
Seriously?
There's something wrong with a child who doesn't like chocolate.
There is nothing wrong with your son.
The only thing wrong with him is you're turning him into a girl.
Right. Okay. I suppose you didn't forget the no sweets before dinner rule?
Nope.
Perfect. Now he won't eat dinner before the sugar high puts him to sleep. Thanks a lot.
Not my problem anymore.
Classy, Trent. Real classy.
You got primary custody by claiming that I was abusive to you and to my students. I almost lost my job and my reputation will never be able to be restored. Ryan even believes it. Let me be the fun parent for once, will you?
Fun parent? He's scared to death of you.
He is not. He's just a girlier version of the kid who left Springfield. You're just not tough enough.
Cut the crap. For the first time in years, he's relaxing. And for the record, I told the truth in that courtroom. And if I had needed to, I could have brought in 6 of your former students. And those are just the ones I remember.
Speaking of former students.
I'm assuming you're about to bring up Ryan's teacher.
Was she just mine, or did we both have her? Because I cannot figure out which one she was.
She was a joint student. I believe you always referred to her as Yappy.
Ah.
Her real name is Addison. She went by Addie back then.
He's switching schools. I can't have him in her class.
Why? Can't have him be taught by the one girl who stood up to you?
She's a problem. If you want him coming home to mouth off to you every night, that's fine. But I'm not dealing
He's not switching schools.
I am his father. I get a say in this.
And he lives with me in this district. We are disgraced school teachers with a daughter in college. We cannot afford to put him in a private school.
Your daughter. She's not mine.
You raised her. And speaking of Sienna, did she ever show up to the visitation?
No. And I would have sent her away if she had. I don't need a babysitter with my son.
So, you're just gonna throw her away.
Hey now. I am helping with her tuition, aren't I? I promised I would, and that will not change. But college isn't cheap. So I think that's pretty generous for a kid who hates me and isn't even mine.
Biologically, yes. She's not yours. But you raised her. Doesn't that count for anything?
It did until your bogus testimony turned her.
I did not turn her. She always saw you for what you are. It's a gift of hers I envy.
She's overdramatic.
She's intuitive. Just like your son.
Oh, not this again.
Yes, this again. Because, believe me or don't believe me, I don't care. But you will see in a few years, when he won't talk to you, remember this conversation.
Think that's also when he'll notice the alcoholism?
He doesn't see it often because I try to hide it when...
He's a master of manipulation. Don't fall for it.
Because I'm learning to control it until after he goes to bed, which should be soon. I assume you're staying in town for the weekend?
The court says I'm within my legal right to do so.
I'll have him ready at 10.
Perfect.
You'll have him all day. His sugar crash will officially be your problem.
Don't be a bitch.
Hey, don't call him out names.
Since when does he care about profanity?
Since he found himself in Yappy Fowler's class. We'll see you tomorrow.
Trent exits. Diane exhales.
Since he got into Addison Fowler's class and my daughter moved in. Ed? Yeah, it's Diane. Listen, I need a favor.
Lights. Scene 5. Addison's bedroom, same time. Addison has been glammed up even more than she was in the first scene. She and Jesse are putting the final touches on themselves for a night out.
How do I look?
Fabulous, darling, fabulous.
I'm stealing that top.
Get your own. Or better yet, have Sienna find you one. The girl knows how to shop.
If she can transform you, she can do anything.
Rude, but true.
Know it.
And what are you absolutely doing tonight?
Leaving with a man. And what's your goal?
Not to push any guy away who may want to buy me a drink.
Very good. You ready?
Yep, let's go.
They turn to leave, but before they can, Sienna stumbles through the door.
Hey, girl. And Jesse.
Hi, Sienna.
You're hot. I did good.
Yes, you did. Where have you been?
Grecians, why?
Because you smell like a brewery.
I don't know why Mom likes Captain Morgan so much. Malibu is where things are at.
Oh my.
Of course it was Grecians.
How is that place still operating?
Hell if I know.
In 5 months, I can join you at Magnolia's. Won't that be fun?
Not if you're coming home like this.
I couldn't face Trent. My mom wanted me to supervise the visit today, but I couldn't do it.
That's understandable.
I suck as a sister.
No, You don't.
Yes, I do. Can I touch your hair? It looks really soft.
No, I just got it to lay flat.
That's fair. It has a hard time doing that.
You're a good sister.
I'm supposed to protect my brother, not throw him to the wolves.
And you didn't.
Where did you come from?
The front door when I followed the sound of my drunken daughter's voice.
You left it open?
Maybe.
We'll talk about that when you're sober.
I couldn't do it, Mom. I'm sorry.
I know.
Just an FYI, we did not do this.
I know that too. This whole thing is my fault.
Come again?
Are you sober?
Yes. And I'm going to stay that way.
Who are you and what have you done with my mother?
Sienna, I failed you. I got so obsessed with taking care of Ryan while I couldn't even take care of myself that you fell through the cracks. And that stops now.
How do you propose to fix it?
First of all, you should never have been expected to chaperone a visitation between the man you hate and your brother when the visit didn't even require chaperoning. And for that and many other things, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm finding an AA group in the morning. Drunk mom is no more. Thirdly,
Holy crap.
you are no longer Ryan's parent.
I never was.
Yes, you were. We all need to stop lying about that, and I'm putting an end to all of it now.
Really?
Really. You are going to start acting your age, even if that means an episode like this once in a while. But first things first, I'm finding you a new place to live.
You're kicking me out?
I wouldn't call it that. You will always have a place to stay wherever I am. But you are 20 years old. You should not be sharing a room with your preteen brother. I'm finding you an apartment. Addison, is it okay if she stays here until we find it?
Of course.
Awesome.
We'll discuss it in the morning. In the meantime, we need to sober you up.
Sienna heaves. She runs for the bathroom.
Case in point.
From offstage, Sienna heaves audibly.
I got
I
that.
should let Jessie. She's made it an art form of aiming people towards the toilet.
Did she practice on you?
Unfortunately, yes.
I know I had a hand in that. I'm so sorry. I didn't believe you back then.
Trent is a master at the game.
He caught me in a sober moment, and it finally sank in that I have a problem. And for the first time, I saw him for what he really is. And I'm done.
Good for you. You didn't leave Ryan with...
Hell no. I called Ed and harassed him until he gave me your address and agreed to watch Ryan until I got back.
That's aggressive.
He was the only person I could think of.
Welcome back, Mom.
Thanks. I'm so sorry.
There was no way you could have seen it coming.
But you did.
I was a super observant kid in a unique situation. Don't beat yourself up too much.
I still feel guilty.
Then make it up with your then make up for it with your own kids. I survived.
Will you be able to ever forgive me fully?
I'm working on it.
Because I was a bitch. A backstabbing bitch.
Yes. You were. Come here, nerd.
Addison pulls Diane into a giant bear hug. Both women gently cry. Lights up on Addie's corner. She's looking on proudly.
You did it. Hester Prynne.
Curtain. This has been a first stage reading of Hester, starring Terry Sagedy as Ed, Erin Kaplan as Trent, Evan Lucas as Ryan, Erin Shaughnessy as Sienna, Stacey Snyder as Diane,
Mailyn Brito as young Jessie,
Sarah Denn as Jessie, Vita Mellaci as Addie, and Janina Rosa as Addison. The script is written by Morgana Kate Watson. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.